If I was redrafting, Mark Andrews would not be in my top 10 tight ends.
We're going to go through weekend warriors and Sunday scaries, but how about the well-anticipated shootout known as Jets-Steelers at MetLife? The over-under for this game closed at 37.5. They exploded past this as the quarterbacks stand atop the scoreboard there. Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers throws for 4 touchdowns. Of course, one was a pop pass to Jonnu Smith because Arthur Smith will never quit Jonnu Smith.
No.
But before we get into any of this, let's hear from Aaron Rodgers on beating the Jets. Sound that I didn't put in the rundown, but our producing team did.
Interesting.
You spoke about the meeting with Aaron Glenn on McAfee a few months ago. Beating him, is there significance in that since he basically told you to your face that he didn't think you were right for that team?
Yes, that's what he did.
So there's significance in beating him for you?
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets. There were probably people in the organization didn't think I could play anymore, so it was nice to remind those people that I still can.
I will say, bitter Aaron Rodgers is a fun Aaron Rodgers. I
go the other way. I'm a big Seahawks fan next week. I think Seahawks crush him. Honestly,
I'll join you on that.
I much prefer. That's honest. Give Aaron Rodgers credit. That is 100% honest.
Yes.
That is,
he's always going to say, he's not going to mince words at the podium.
What did the Jets do to him again? I don't understand.
Gave him Nathaniel Hackett, gave him Alan Lazard, gave him everything he could have ever asked for. Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb stood by him while he tore his Achilles on the fourth play.
Still paying Alan Lazard, by the way.
Yeah.
He was inactive, but he still collects the check.
No, he's upset at them because they told him they didn't want him back this year.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with how the meeting went with Aaron Glenn.
Right. That's what it is. Which is fair.
That's fine.
Which is fair. No, 100%. No one likes to be fired, which is what he was. Right. And so. But there you go. Jay Stabb saying exactly what you just said, Connor. Aaron Rodgers acting like he didn't waste 2 years of the Jets' time and made them sign all of his friends.
Aaron Glenn's got one shot at this, and he wasn't down for the Aaron Rodgers experience.
I don't blame him.
And Aaron Rodgers has a fresh start with Pittsburgh that's off to a great start.
Yeah.
Right? The question I have for you,
yes, sir,
to pivot back to fantasy, he throws for 4 touchdowns. Is this news or noise?
I think this is noise.
Me too. This is probably his best fantasy game of the season.
I think it is. I mean, his average depth of target was under 5 yards. Now, again, I've said this. I think fantasy-wise, Arthur Smith drives us crazy. But I actually, I said this last year that Jonnu's. By the way, I was right on Jonnu Smith and Kenneth Gainwell, who played the most snaps of any running back. By the way, and so, but my point is that Arthur Smith actually calls a good game. I actually think he's a good offensive coordinator. He drives us crazy for fantasy.
Right.
But in terms of what we said is if he'll play, if he'll play within structure, meaning if Aaron Rodgers plays within structure and they run the ball effectively and set up play action here. But no, I mean, there was a lot of stuff after the catch in terms of this. And no, I think we've seen Aaron Rodgers' best fantasy game of the year. Justin Burke saying by this dip, Jonnu will be a top 8 fantasy tight end this year. I agree. But I mean, again, to the point of Arthur Smith drives us crazy, the wide receiver that had the most routes was Calvin Austin. Right. It wasn't DK Metcalf.
I think the nice thing is we're actually starting to finally figure out Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
We saw value in Jonnu Smith. We saw a little value in Kenneth Gainwell. Calvin Austin, they were targeting Brandon Stevens at will, which is the right choice.
Yeah, indeed. I think that it was good. Rodgers was definitely played well, but I didn't think that he played, he had a pass rating close to 150. I didn't think he played that well. To your point, Matthew, about the yak, it was all yak. He had negative EPA through the air. It was
his
all
QBR was 62.
Yes. So I think with Rodgers, probably is his best game. He still can't really move. He had tried to escape pressure once and throw what should have been a really bad pick that was dropped. He got sacked 4 times. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a fine quarterback, but this is almost certainly, very likely his best game of the season.
Yeah, they lucked out in this game. I mean, so Boswell hits a 60-yarder. He's a very good kicker. So but again, to set that up, they get the
triple deflection.
The triple deflection, right? DK Metcalf pops it up. Somebody pops it back. DK catches it. So, yes, to your point, he doesn't run. Much rather have Justin Fields, who does run, who actually had a better QBR than Aaron Rodgers does, which is an ESPN stat on a scale of 1 to 100. His QBR was 79.5 compared with just 62 for Aaron Rodgers. Jacob Lund wants to know, is Justin Fields a top 5 fantasy quarterback going forward? I don't know that he's top 5, but I think he's top 8. I had him at QB9 going to the preseason. He was on the preseason love list, and this is why. He is somebody that every time he starts, all he does is produce fantasy points.
Here's the thing, though, like some of the guys who are going ahead of Fields, Patrick Mahomes, who doesn't have any receivers anymore, Bo Nix, who looked horrific yesterday. I'd rather have Justin Fields than Bo Nix. Mahomes, we'll see. Still rather have Joe Burrow over Justin Fields, so I can't get him into the top 5, but I mean, he's knocking on the door of 6, 7, I reckon.
He's a legit QB1, a legit starting quarterback in the NFL. And Connor, we were talking about this before the show, but Breece Hall, who a lot of people, and I'm raising my hand right here, kind of wrote off in the preseason like he's injury prone, they're going to throw to him. He looked awesome.
He looked as good as he's looked in years, Breece Hall. But the funny thing is, Breece Hall has this great game. The Jets' line was awesome, even without Elijah Vera-Tucker. Breece goes over 100 rushing yards, which he doesn't typically do anymore. He looked fresh. His touchdowns were all vultured by Justin Fields and Braylon Allen. So it's not that Breece looks great, and this might be Breece's best career year. But in fantasy, that might be sustainable. The 2 runs for Fields were designed. One was a sneak, and one was the play-action rollout where he walked to the pylon. They love Braylon Allen down at the goal line. So you almost
is Breece Hall a sell high? Because I think fantasy managers will be looking at this, like, he had this monster game.
Depending on what you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I worry about this being the problem this year. Breece is great in real life. He's great for the Jets. But does he need to run for 100 yards and catch a couple passes to have a standard fantasy day while Fields and Braylon Allen are stealing his touchdowns? And if Fields scrambled for one of those touchdowns, I'd be like, yeah, that's a little fluky. Even though he can do that. But they're designed runs over and over again. So Breece was awesome. I just think he might be capped in fantasy if he doesn't score touchdowns consistently.
Yeah, for a team that put up 34 points the way the Steelers did, I don't know that there's a lot of fantasy takeaway. I mean, we tried to warn you on Caleb Johnson.
He's returning kicks.
He's on special teams. He got 1 carry. If you out there have Caleb Johnson, it's your own fault because we could not have been more clear about what this backfield was going to look like here. And I do think better days are ahead for Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren in that run game there as well.
Julio,
Garrett Wilson, just amazing.
Yeah. Julio, I think you are a question here. Is Braylon Allen matchup dependent, and is it Breece's running back room is the clear RB1? I think yes to the latter. To the former about Braylon Allen, I don't think you're comfortably starting him unless you're in a bye week disaster.
Yeah.
Right now, Fields and Breece just have too much equity with this team right now. You would need Breece to get hurt to start Braylon Allen. Isaiah Davis got a couple carries.
Yeah.
So, and then like you said, Matthew, Garrett Wilson it's just so obvious how much he's going to be targeted.
Last note here: Alan Lazard still on the Jets' payroll, a healthy scratch.
Yes.
Yes, he got to sit,
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly. He got to sit in street clothes and watch Aaron Rodgers just destroy his team. So the last thing I'll say here is obviously on fantasy, but just if I'm a Jets fan, tough loss.
Yeah.
But I have to feel like we have a quarterback.
It's the best the offense has looked in quite a long time.
We have a quarterback.
So
that loss wasn't on Justin Fields at all.
Couldn't ask more from him.
No, exactly. Garrett Wilson got to hang on to that ball.
They have the Bills next week, which Jets-Bills sounds crazy. Could be a shootout. You could love both sides of the offense on that one.
For sure.
Yeah, I think there's a reasonable chance the Jets finish second in that division.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.